Most catfish farmers in Nigeria today are losing about 70% of their catfish even before harvest, and this is not resulting from disease outbreak or lack of feed. The number one killer of your farm these days is poor water quality as a catfish farmer. I'll put it to you straight. In this video, I'll be showing you the exact favorable water condition that will be okay for your catfishes, and also how you can easily test your water condition either in your house or in your farm to know if it is okay for your fish, and if need be, how you can easily treat your water so that it can be favorable for your catfish. My name is John from Oxj, and if today is your first time on this channel, I would advise you to subscribe as we'll be dishing out most quality and educational content on catfish farming. We have helped a lot of farmers recover thousands of their fishes just by getting this one thing right, which is water quality. Stay tuned as I walk you through the process of testing your water, knowing your water quality, and how to solve if your water quality is bad. Why water quality is a very important factor for you to check out for in your farm, it's because water is where they live. So they live inside the water, they breathe inside the water. So if the water condition is not favorable, it's going to affect them and it's going to kill them. So you want to make sure water quality is a priority you look out for. So I'll be showing you 7 key water quality parameters you need to check out for to make sure that you're doing this thing right. Number 1 is pH level. pH simply defines the acidity or alkalinity of your water, and the pH level of your water has to be between 6.5 to 8.5. Why is that? When the pH level is low, when it's below 6.5, it means the acidity of that particular water is too high, and that will result to burning your fishes. It will definitely burn your fishes and it's not good to them. It's definitely going to kill them. Number 2 is ammonia. So ammonia is actually resulting from when you have rotten feed under your water. So it forms a particular gas called ammonia, which is very harmful because ammonia is going to reduce the dissolved oxygen level under your water, and that is going to kill your fishes because there will be little oxygen for them to take under the water, whereby you see them gasping for air coming to the top of the water. So you want to make sure that your ammonia level is 0 ppm. ppm means parts per million. That is, it is 0. There is no ammonia at all. When there is ammonia, it's going to affect them, it's going to reduce dissolved oxygen. There will be no air for them, no oxygen for them to take under the water, and it's going to kill them. Number 3 is nitrite. Nitrite also results from excess ammonia spike. So when there is ammonia spike, it's going to increase the nitrite, and that is going to kill your fishes. What nitrite does is it blocks the oxygen from conveying through the blood system. You understand? So nitrite is not good. It's going to affect them, and it is common by ammonia spike. If you're not understanding some of these terms, I will still show you practically how to check for these parameters, right? So don't bother if you're not understanding some of them. I will show you practically and you would understand better how to check for these parameters. Number 4 is nitrate. Nitrate is not so harmful, so it can be below 50 parts per million ppm. It can be below 50 and they'll still survive under that condition. All of this is resolving from polluted water, which could be from excess feeding and all of that. Number 5 is chlorine. Chlorine is very harmful to them, so your chlorine level has to be 0 ppm. If you're using water board, for instance, and you know usually they treat the water with chlorine, you have to find a way to further treat your water before you use it for your catfish, because chlorine is not good for them and it's going to kill them. Number 6 is hardness of the water. So the hardness of the water must be between 50 to 150 milligram per liter. Anything other than that is definitely going to affect them. And number 7 is the dissolved oxygen. So dissolved oxygen is actually the oxygen your fish take under the water. What they take is not the atmospheric oxygen like you and I. They take the oxygen under the water, and when it is below 5 milligram per liter, it means the oxygen level is too low for them and it's definitely going to affect them. So you want to make sure your oxygen level is moderate, is above 5 milligram per water. And how you can improve that is to make sure you're changing the water when the water is bad. You are renewing their water. So right now in this section, I'll be showing you practically how you can actually test your water. This is a sweet test kit you can use. I actually ordered this from Temu. You can test it online. It has many parameters here that you can check out for. So just get this and you use it for your water test. Can you please get me some water so we can do the practical live? Let me show you how to do this. It's actually very simple and straightforward process. It's not hard, right? So when you have your water, this is a sweet test kit you can use. So when you get it, there is definitely going to be a manual in whichever one you get. Just check on the manual. This particular one says you have to dip this paper, which is like the litmus paper. This is actually litmus test, in the water for between 1 to 2 seconds. So when you dip 1 to 2 seconds, remove it from the water, then hold it horizontally, and you read the result within 30 seconds, right? So whatever you get is your value. After then, you will know what to treat in that water and what not to treat. So I'll be testing my water for you to see. So this is what it looks like, right? And this has all the parameters that are listed on the body. You're going to compare it against the body to see all the parameters that are listed. You can see the first one is pH. You can see the level here. There is 6.2, 6.8, 7.2. You can see also that there is a marked line here which denotes the safe region. So when you see any color outside of this, it means that particular water is bad for you. So you can use this to actually check. So I'll be dipping it inside the water now for you to see. It says 1 to 2 seconds. You take out, hold it horizontally, and you're going to read your results in just 30 seconds, between 30 seconds. So we can read now. You can see that the first one, which is the pH, the color looks like either the first one or the second one. And the second one is 6.8. I think it's the second one. And it's 6.8. Or the third one, 7.2, which is still safe. It's all in the safe region. So it's all good. The alkalinity, you can see this. There is a green line here, like a box. It talks about the safe region as well. You can see that this color is between this region, is never close to any of this. You can see 180 and 240. It's not close to it. You can see the carbonate. It's there. The hardness. You can see the hardness as well. If you check it, you see it's around between 50 to 100. So the hardness is okay, and there are many other things for you to actually check here. You can see nitrite and nitrate. Check out the value, which is very okay. There is no wet color. See the safe zone, the safe region. You can see it for nitrite and nitrate. They are white, showing you that it's in the same box. So everything you need to check is here. You can see this is very easy to test, very simple. In this section, I will be explaining to you how to solve these problems when they arise. If let's say you test your water and you notice any of these components high in your water, I'll be showing you how to resolve. So number one is low pH level. Low pH level means that water is acidic and it's not good for your fishes, like it's burning them. So when you notice the pH level is low, what you can do is to add agricultural lime. So you can use lime to actually reduce the acidity of that water, thereby improving the pH level. Also, when the pH level is too high, you can use organic matters. It means the water is too basic, what we call too alkaline. So when it is too high, that is above 8.5, above 9, you can use organic matters like banana leaf, especially if you're using concrete pumps, right? You can use banana leaf or palm fronds to actually improve the pH level of that water. And also the next one is ammonia and nitrite. When you notice the ammonia and nitrite of your water is high, and a quick way for you to know that is when you see them coming to gasp for air always, it means the ammonia and nitrite has reduced the oxygen level and they are coming to get atmospheric oxygen. So what you need to do is to stop feeding immediately. Stop feeding them, because excess feed that gets rotten will increase the ammonia and nitrite level. So you need to stop feeding. You need to change their water. Very importantly, you need to change their water, and if there are decaying feet under the water, under the pond, you need to actually remove them completely to improve ammonia free healthy water for your fish. And the next one is chlorine. When you notice chlorine in that water, that is, if chlorine is detected, you can manually solve this problem by leaving the water exposed to air for like 24 to 48 hours before you can use them for your fish. And also, if you have what we call dechlorinator, you can use dechlorinator to actually remove the chlorine in your water. And the next one is low dissolved oxygen. So when you notice that the dissolved oxygen is low, is below 5 milligram per liter, you will see them coming up as well to gasp for air. because there is no oxygen under the water for them. So in that scenario, what you can do is to manually change their water, give them fresh water. It comes with fresh oxygen. So fresh water with no ammonia in them, no nitrate, no pollution, actually has a lot of dissolved oxygen, which is good for them. So you can give them fresh water, change the water. And also you can use what we call aerator to improve the dissolved oxygen level in the water. And avoid overstocking. Avoid overstocking, because when you overstock, the dissolved oxygen for them will be little and it's going to affect them. Some of them are going to die, so you would not want to overstock. I believe by now you all know formula for stocking density, which is length times breadth times height divided by 3 multiplied by 5. Make sure you're stocking the right quantity, because that could be a reason why your fish are dying. If you find this video helpful and educational to you, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share to your friends who might be interested in fish farming or how to improve their farming activities.